Hi, I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math, and today we're learning about solving systems of three equations with substitution.
Minute Math, when you need help you use Minute Math.
We're given this problem right here. Negative 5r plus 5s plus 3t equals a negative 23. Negative 5r plus 3s minus 3t equals negative 11, and negative 6r plus 6t equals a negative 12, and we want to solve the system by substitution. Well, first thing I'm looking at is, well, this last equation. If I pull out, we'll rewrite it here, negative 6r plus 6t equals a negative 12. If I pull out a negative 6, I am left with a positive r minus a t, and that's equal to negative 12 here. Divide both sides by negative 6, and we're left with r minus t equals, well, negative 12 divided by negative 6 is a positive 2. Add a t to both sides, and r equals 2 plus t. And so right off the bat, it looks like it's going to be an easy problem, but it's not. Let's be honest here. Okay? So what we're now going to look at here is the second equation. Okay? I'm going to take this value of 2 plus t, and I'm going to plug it in for r. So we have negative 5, and then instead of r, I have a 2 plus t, then plus 3s, and then minus 3t equals a negative 11. And now we're going to simplify this as much as we can. Let's try to get s by itself. So distribute the negative 5 over, and we have negative 10 minus 5t. Then we have plus a 3s minus 3t equals a negative 11. Let's combine our like terms where we can. Well, negative 5t and a minus 3t is a negative 8t. We have, well, just a 3s here. And then if we add a 10 to both sides, negative 11 plus 10 is a negative 1. To get s by itself, I'm going to add an 8t to both sides, and so we have 3s equals a negative 1 plus 8t. Divide both sides by 3, and s equals negative 1 plus 8t over 3. Fantastic. But it's a little difficult with a fraction. But don't be afraid. Same process still applies. We're now going to look at our first equation here. And we're going to plug in what we know for r and s for the variables, and we'll get t by itself. So let's rewrite that. Put a line here. We have negative 5, and instead of r, I have 2 plus t. Let's make sure I can get it to fit. Then we have the top one, 5, right here, right? 5 plus 5. Instead of s, I have a negative 1 plus 8t over 3. And then we have plus 3t equals a negative 23. Got it to fit. So now I want to simplify this. Let's take our time. Distribute the minus 5. Negative 10 minus 5t here, plus, let's distribute that 5 to both parts again. Okay, put a big fraction. We have minus 5 going to both parts of the numerator, plus 8 times 5 is 40. We have 40t all over 3, plus 3t equals a negative 23. All right. Well, let's go add a 10 to both sides here. And then we're going to combine minus 5t and 3t. So negative 5t plus 3t is a negative 2t. Plus, bring this down here again, negative 5 plus 40t over 3. And that's equal to, add a 10 to both sides here, and we have a negative 13. Well, I want to get 3 out of this denominator here, but I want to keep my t's on the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides here by 3. In doing so, this is what happens. 3 times negative 2t is a negative 6t. Plus, 3 multiplied by this fraction cancels out the 3 in the denominator. So we're left with just the numerator of negative 5 plus 40t. Be careful with that step right there. That 3 will cancel out with this 3 down here. So we just bring down the numerator. And then negative 13 times 3 is a negative 39. From there, we're almost home. We can add the negative 6t and 40t to be a positive 34t. And then add a 5 to both sides. So negative 39 plus 5 is a negative 34. Oh, isn't that nice? Divide both sides by 34. t is by itself, and negative 34 divided by a positive 34, negative 1. After all that fraction work, we got t equals negative 1. So now the rest is fairly easy. Let's put that negative 1 in for this t value here. S equals negative 1 plus 8 times a negative 1 over 3. Simplify that. S equals, well, 8 times negative 1 is a negative 8, plus a negative 1 is a negative 9 divided by 3. And S equals negative 9 divided by 3, a negative 3. Whoops, well, that's negative 3. Same thing here, put negative 1 in for this t. R equals 2 plus a negative 1. And we can write that here. R equals, what's 2 plus a negative 1? And that is a positive 1. So we can write this as a coordinate point solution of 1, negative 3, in the order they gave to us, the variables, negative 1. And that is our final answer. R equals 1, S equals negative 3, and T equals a negative 1. I hope this video was helpful for you, and if it was, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. This helps us make more free math lessons for you and for everyone else. So as always, thanks for watching.
Minute Math, when you need help you use Minute Math.